So what is going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel where, well, we've just had some figures of how Call of Duty has performed this year compared to a load of other games that have released in the last 12 months ending in April. And for the first time in the longest time that I can ever remember, we know that Vanguard had the worst launch in the UK, but we weren't really aware how it was performing in terms of other charts overall. We all presume that it pretty much would still be number one. Call of Duty is every year, whether it's Modern Warfare, Cold War, Infinite Warfare, every single year we say this COD's bad and the last one was great. We all say we're not going to buy it again. Yeah, COD is the number one selling game every single year. Like I said, there was kind of a hint early on with it being not number one for launch in the UK. I'm not too sure about other countries that perhaps it wouldn't do as well as previous ones. In one of my last videos I said that Vanguard was about $500 million lower in sales compared to Cold War. Still, compared to other games, it's high. Well, let's take a look. But just before I continue, I do want to say that today's video is sponsored by Random Dice Defense. This is a free mobile game and the first of the random tower defense genre, which is a random merge with tower defense, where you set up dice towers with various abilities and defend against incoming enemies in PvP and co-op modes. Random Dice Defense allows you to do loads of different things. You can create a custom battle deck of 5 different dices with unique abilities. There are millions of different combinations that you can match together with different playstyles. You can also merge your defenses together, so when you merge the same type of dice with the same number of dots, you will get one level higher dice tower, and the tower type changes randomly when you merge. And another key thing about this game is strategy. You can summon, merge, or power up. Use SP strategically. Summoning a greater number of weaker dice can be better than having a small number of strong dice. Just one of the many things I love about this game, which is actually pretty different to a lot of other games, is the background music. It also has almost ASMR sound-like effects, which is perfect for playing while you relax. This is a really fun, unique game. If you want to go ahead and play this for yourself, then you can download Random Dice Defense by clicking the link down in the description, and you can start building your deck today. So there we go ahead and check it out. So, as I was saying, if we take a look at this tweet from Charlie Intel, they said, for the first time in years, a Call of Duty title is not the best-selling game of a 12-month period in the US. Elden Ring has surpassed Vanguard sales. I believe the last time this happened was when GTA 5 released, and that was back in 2013, was it? 9 years ago, and that was understandable considering the amount of money that game's made. So it's been 9 years that Call of Duty hasn't been the top-selling video game, which is crazy to think about how long it's been on top, but it confirms what we all thought, and it confirms what I thought even before this game released. If we just take a look at the list, Elden Ring being number one is pretty crazy considering the games that they have done previous to this have been nowhere near on the scale of this one in terms of sales. In third is Madden, fourth Pokemon, fifth Battlefield 2042, which is another surprise to me because, well, let me just tell you, I brought that game day one. I haven't played it once yet. I did play the beta. I thought that was terrible. I brought it just because I thought, well, when the game releases, surely it's going to get better. And after just watching a live stream of someone play it, I thought, you know what, I'm not even going to bother touching this. It hasn't changed since the beta, so I'm surprised that's so high up. We then have LEGO Star Wars, which has only just come out. And then next is Far Cry 6, then FIFA 22, then Resident Evil, and then Pokemon. I would say besides from Elden Ring and COD and possibly Battlefield, other than that, this list isn't too much of a surprise. Elden Ring just because, well, now I expect it, but before it came out, I didn't, and I don't think anyone did. Vanguard, just because Call of Duty is always number one, is a surprise it's number two, but again, at the same time, if you've played it or have any experience with this, that isn't, and also Battlefield being at fifth. But yeah, if this is the first time this has happened since GTA 5, this is the first time that COD hasn't been the number one selling game for 9 years, getting on to 10, which is more than likely one of the many reasons why we aren't getting a mainline Call of Duty next year, and why Treyarch's game has been delayed a year until 2024, so that this doesn't happen again. Just looking at some of the comments, someone called Hunter TV said, "Dog, Vanguard is the most uninspired World War II game I've ever seen in my time. They turned the deadliest conflict in human history into a joke. You can't even play as Axis powers in multiplayer. The campaign has so much inaccurate history, and zombies is worse than the original released in 2008. The strange thing is, when this game first came out, in terms of multiplayer, I think I put out a tweet saying, this is one of the best multiplayers I've played in a long time. Then again, I enjoyed Modern Warfare. I know a lot of people didn't. I thought it was good. But that was for the first few weeks after that. I haven't touched it since. The campaign I thought was average. Not terrible. It was just okay. I just didn't think there was too much depth to it. And then zombies, we all know my opinion. This is... yeah, this is the worst zombies I've ever played. As this person says, it is worse than the original, which released all the way back in 2008, 14 years ago. Things are supposed to improve, not get worse. And all of this has clearly had a big part to play on the game, because for the first time in 9 years, it isn't number one. There are also other factors that come into this, as Activision themselves have said one of the mistakes was making another World War II game. They shouldn't have done that. I think the majority of people are past this setting now. We've just played so many World War II games, and because of the era that it's set in, you can't innovate as much or do as many, I don't know, crazy things. A lot of World War II games feel the same compared to the modern setting. You could just do a lot more with it. So the time period was a mistake, the developers were a mistake, only having 6 months to develop zombies was a mistake. A lot of people would argue they shouldn't have done it at all, but then I would say the sales would have been even worse. This game could have dropped to number 3, maybe 4. But just going back to this tweet, someone then replied to Hunter TV by saying, the objective style gameplay of zombies was meant to be a test. Also, they say that they have to build round-based zombies from the ground up, when in fact they don't, because they can take the code from Infinite Warfare zombies. Someone then replied back saying, well, why did they test stupid shit in the final product? And he replied back, because they didn't have adequate time to make proper zombies, so they did something different. The only thing to this I would question is, well, how much longer would it have taken them to do round-based zombies compared to what we have now, this objective stuff? Because, like I said, even though this is Sledgehammer's game, they have done round-based zombies before, and these objective-based modes we have in Vanguard are brand new, so you would have thought it would have been harder and taken more time, more budget to actually create these objective-based modes rather than round-based. Obviously now it's going to take time for them to do because that wasn't their original plan, but I don't think it would have taken them 6 months to do. I honestly just think with this game they never planned round-based zombies in the first place. If they wanted to, they could have done it, because I think 6 months would have been adequate time, and that's pretty evident as well considering we are getting Shinonuma as a round-based zombies map in about a month or two. We haven't had to wait 6 months for that, so Treyarch could have given us round-based zombies in Vanguard, but that just wasn't their original plan, and by the time they found out that actually no one wants this objective-based stuff, it's too late, and now they have to spend time adding round-based into this game, when it would have been possible to do it from the beginning. Like this person says, this objective-based style gameplay was meant to be a test, which is fine in my opinion if you've already got a good game. Perhaps don't test something that you're not too sure is going to work. Add round-based zombies, and then when the game's good, then start adding these test modes. But going back to the original topic, Vanguard not being the #1 selling game this year for the first time in a long time, well, that kind of intrigued me to look up what previous sales were. Now, there are loads of different results you can get depending on which website you go on, so I'm not 100% sure which one is right, which is wrong, because there are different answers, but they're all near enough the same. Now, this chart, what I want to show you up on screen, was actually taken from a few years ago, I think 2018, just before the release of Modern Warfare, so that game isn't on that list. It's the same with Cold War and Vanguard, but according to this, Black Ops 1 in 2010 is still the best-selling Call of Duty. Now, this doesn't include microtransactions. If that was included, then Modern Warfare would be #1. We know that's the most successful Call of Duty game ever, and I'm pretty sure that game's close to Black Ops 1 anyway, around 31 million sales. It's the same with Modern Warfare 3, so you can put all three of those games as pretty much #1. We then have Black Ops 2 with 29.5 million sales. Again, looking at other websites, they say this game is on 32, 31 as well. We then have COD GOATs with 28.8 million, which is really surprising for a few reasons. One, this game didn't get the best reviews. Its initial reception was good, but throughout its life cycle and after, it wasn't, and that's pretty evident because, well, it's been over 10 years now and we still haven't got a sequel. So if that game was successful like the Black Ops franchise or the Modern Warfare franchise, I think we would have gotten a sequel. However, these numbers, 28.8 million, aren't that far off the top ones, so it is a little bit surprising. We then have Black Ops 3 selling 26 million. Next is Modern Warfare 2 with 25 million sales, and then we have Advanced Warfare with 21 million, COD 4 with 19 million. Another anomaly, although not surprising, but at the same time it is, was Call of Duty World War II with 20 million. This one released in 2017, and the reason I say this is surprising is because, well, if this game only did 20 million sales compared to Black Ops or Modern Warfare, or even COD Ghosts, where those games did around 10 million more in sales, if COD World War II was near to the bottom in terms of sales, wouldn't that have been a good indicator to perhaps not make another World War II shooter? Shouldn't that tell them that modern games, or ones that take place a little bit further into the future that haven't been done as much, actually sell more? You could say the same for World at War, but that game came out in 2008, so the fact that it did 18 million sales, you could put down to that, it releasing so early on in COD's life cycle. But surely that would have been a little bit of an indication, knowing that both games that took place in World War II are near to the bottom in terms of sales. It's just hard to believe that Activision or Sledgehammer didn't look at that and think, perhaps we shouldn't do another World War II game. Maybe try a different setting. So yeah, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.